The perpetual loudness of the sound of procrastination rings heavily in my head. Searching the web for a new computer background, I once stumbled upon this painting of a sunset with the silhouette of a sailboat. All I could think about was my grandmother. As a broke college student, I had succumbed back to elementary school ways and started to make things as presents. These makeshift gifts included sentimentalities like paintings, a letter, or a framed picture. I justified this cheap action with the mantra, "It's the thought that counts." The thought I had in my head at this moment is how much men love sunsets and the authenticity of a homemade gift from one of our grandkids. With Christmas just a few months away, I figured it would be the perfect gift. Naively, a few months seemed like more than enough time to finish the painting, purposely disregarding one major problem. I am terrible at finishing what I start. But in that moment, my temptations had prompted me to drive to Michael's, spend $50 I couldn't afford to spend on art supplies, and paint this picture of a sunset for my grandmother. I'm not an artist, but right then I convinced myself that I could be. Impulsivity. When I have an idea in my head, it won't leave until it's satisfied. At the moment, this idea is all I can think about. It's intensely present. I have to do it, I have to do it, I have to do it. Or else it will drive me crazier than I already feel. I began this sunset painting in the fall of 2014 and have yet to finish it. It's a reminder of everything I've left behind. Along with dozens of books, several journals, and countless creative projects, this painting has been left to rot in a figurative closet for all of my many unfinished quests. According to the painting, I was just about to dip my toes in the water when my mind wandered off into my next unknown but instinctive path. When I took a break from this painting, I had every intention to finish it, but like so many other things in life, you can't pause the clock. And anyways, I most likely got hungry, received a text, or took a break that ended up lasting months and counting. I'm not sure who said it, but I once heard that it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. The only habit that I have is putting things off and convincing myself I'll finish them later. This habit is one that I'm convinced will take longer than 21 days to break. After taking nutrition my first semester sophomore year, I convinced myself I could do the whole healthy lifestyle trend that has been taking over my Instagram feed. In my head, I was going to start going to the gym every day, avoid drinking so much coffee, and start eating better, which to me meant say bye to the fries. It was going really well for a while. I went to the gym at least 5 times a week, stopped considering potatoes as a major food group, and actually began to see progress. This probably lasted no fewer than 25 days, once again proving I am the exception to the 21 days rumor. I'm not sure what exactly happened next, but before I knew it, I was staring at myself in the reflection of my laptop, eating a pint of Ben & Jerry's half-baked ice cream on my 6th episode of SVU. And that was the end of that short-lived era. I give myself more credit than I deserve. I once had the urge to become a yogi. It relates back to that desire to be present, so I figured if I started practicing yoga religiously, I could become an insightful, mindful version of myself, the kind of inspirational transformation you read about. Confidently, I walked into my town's little yoga studio one summer morning and committed to the 12-session deal. After an hour of the instructor scolding my lack of flexibility and referring to me as little grasshopper, in the depths of hell I swore I would never go back. I walked out of Bikram hot yoga that day and never looked back. Another spontaneity left in the dust. I've started a new journal over 5 times. I'm not sure why I keep buying new journals. I guess it all goes back to my impulsivity. I have this idea that if I start fresh, I'll stay motivated. Environmentalists would cringe at the amount of blank spaces in my absurd collection of journals. Each time I start out the first entry in a new journal with, "Dear Journal, just so you know, I'm really bad at keeping journals." How ironic that I'm an English major, and I don't even have the patience to write consistently in a journal. Most recently, I spent $38 on a Made in Italy stamped leather journal from Barnes & Noble. At the time, this seemed like the greatest idea. Splurge on an overpriced journal so the hole burning in your pocket will guilt you enough to write in it every night and make it worth the buy. That was the plan anyways. I bought this journal in December of 15 and there are under 5 entries to date. It's currently stashed in a drawer in my desk, wasting space. Every so often I think about writing in it, when I have a good day or a bad day. But then time gets the best of me and I put it at the bottom of my list. There it remains to pointlessly fill space until something moves me to write in it again. I've recently considered trying to come up with an idea to write a book. I always thought I could write a decent book. Not a love book, just the opposite. A book not about love. It would probably be the first book that doesn't have some distorted, overdone plot about two people beating the odds and falling in love. I probably sound bitter, and I probably am. But that isn't the point. The point is that the problem with me trying to start writing a book is that it'll be just that. Me writing a book until I lose interest in some new idea suddenly and aggressively appeals more to me. There's no way I'll have enough mental stamina to write long enough to develop the ending. My book will not have an ending. I'll probably use writer's block as an excuse, and then toss it into the metaphorical closet where my plans go to die. Previously mentioned, I'm not good at endings. It's going to be a book not about love and without an ending. Now let's see how that will sell. The remarkable thing about sunsets is that timing is impeccable. If you're a minute late to a sunset, you'll miss it. Each second the sun is setting, you are captivated by its beauty. I think that's why my grandmother loved sunsets so much. You aren't limited to the beauty of a sunset by outside distractions. It takes about 4 minutes for the sun to set, and during those 4 minutes, you are completely present. This idea of presentness is an intimidating concept for most people, including myself, to accept. We are constantly moving towards something else, living our lives in fast forward. Rarely do we have the amount of self-control that allows us to be entirely present. However, for the duration of the sun to set, something inside us changes. It allows us to be completely in the moment. I would be disturbed to find that there's ever been a time where someone has wished for a sunset to speed up so they could get on with their life. When you're painting a sunset, it's not immediately gratifying. It takes time. And time is an overwhelming concept when you have so much of it. Or maybe that is the problem. We think we have time. My grandmother passed away 3 months after I took a break from the painting. For that reason alone, I feel like I should be able to find the motivation to go back and finally finish it. For her. It only seems right to dedicate the time to sit down, clear my head, paint, and be present. But something doesn't feel right about it anymore. Or maybe that's just me wasting precious time and making up another excuse to put it off.